Gemini. This is your weekly tarot from October 1st through the 7th, 2019. We're flipping cards. Okay. So I hope you're doing well. I'm your fellow air sign, double Gemini. And I have 2 oracle cards. The rest is tarot. So Gemini, how's those tests coming? How's that universal? You getting a lot of tests? Because boy, I am. But it's now like a game, you know? And here's the thing. Here's your next one. Okay. So this card, this is the Enchanted Map Oracle. This card is listening, and it is a 53. Okay. So this card is about Gemini. So we're being prompted to listen more to what's being said, but not only with our ears, but with our heart. What's really being said, and I've had this a lot, just personally, opening up my heart space. Not just all intellectual, not just all spiritual. It needs to come from the heart space. So that's what we're being asked to do: is listen with our heart. Listen to the words being spoken or not spoken, how we feel in situations. And then the medicine mother says, well, on your inner knowing. So there's been a lot of changes, you know, for this collective, the Gemini collective, for a lot of everybody. But Gemini, each sign has its own kind of things they're going through at this time. Now, the Gemini mother, medicine mother, is asking you to honor your inner guidance. So part of that is listening with your heart and trying to, well, actually not trying, but receiving information through another way. Okay? So it's paving another way for information through our heart. So we can communicate back and forth through our heart without words. And we're also being asked that during these challenges to really consider leaving some behaviors behind, some things behind. What are we willing to leave behind? That's no longer serving us. What are we willing to leave behind to have a better life? Because whatever it is that, and for everybody it's something different, you know. After you've purged and purged and purged, and then you realize there's another thing, and maybe this was more of the underlying current, the underlying thing. That maybe it's security or feeling like you couldn't do it. Whatever it is, you know, wanting to give up, and maybe you're just not that strong. And we're being reminded that we are that strong, and that we can trust in our inner knowledge, because we know we are. That's why we act it. But then in the moment of truth, sometimes we're just like everybody else, you know, when we get weak. Sometimes that happens. But we're being reminded that we're stronger than we know. All of us, every single person here is, you know, whatever sign you are. But this is really being directed at us, this reading right here. So, every layer we uncover of our new selves, we're probably going to have to look at the thing on that layer that is not serving us. Get it out of there, then we'll go to a new layer, and until we have all of that stuff purged, and we're just bliss. We're just pure, I got this. You know? I got this in every way, and nobody's going to shake that. Okay? Alright, so let's get moving here. So the first card I have is the Queen of Swords reversed. Now, when there's challenges, you know, like, well, This is Three of Cups reversed, like. So Queen of, so sorry. Third chakra. Three. Woo. Okay. Queen of Swords reversed. When she's reversed, she's not very nice. She's closed off. She's not very communicative. She is bitter, and she's pissed. Okay? And she'll go after you. If she's gotten to that point, you can't come with the same stuff, because she will go after you. And she'll cut you with the sword of her words, of our words. It's something we do well when we've had enough. But nothing, you know. Listening with our heart, I think, maybe having more compassion, which is really hard when you feel like you're on the bad end of the stick, when you're on the bad end of the deal. But, you know, when there's third parties or other people's alcoholism or drug addiction infringes on our rights and our stuff, yeah, it's upsetting. And then this is the Six of Wands, when what's going on around us, if Six of Wands reversed, affects our victory. We don't get a victory when we're being done like this. When we're allowing the situation to be done like this, you see? So, there's more than just somebody doing something to us. It's how we got here. Why are we allowing it? We're still responsible for staying in it, being in it. You know what I mean? Not for somebody hurting us physically or stealing from us, but somehow we got to that spot, you know. And that's the thing. That's a behavior I believe we're being asked to leave behind. You know, maybe you met certain people in certain ways and didn't take the time to know them well enough before getting involved. I know that's one thing with me. And so, here's the Page of Pentacles. This is somebody that comes along and seems stable, but has an agenda, needs a place to stay, and doesn't really know how to have a commitment now. Does this remind you of anybody you know? Or many people you know? And so the thing is, why are we allowing this, you know? That's the thing. But see, if we had listened, if we can come from a different place, and listen to what people aren't saying, and what it feels like in our heart, maybe we would realize that we're really not connected at the heart with them. And the other thing is, maybe we would realize that that when they do betray us or all of that, it's because they're betraying themselves. And so that's where more compassion can come in. I mean, it's not what you want to hear, I know. But being angry is not the way to do it. Being upset and taking months or however much time to work through it emotionally it's tough. And maybe if we came from a different place sometimes, we might be able to see it sooner and not allow it to get so far down the road. You know, we all have our habits, and as much as I try to be looking forward, I still am having to look at every layer, you know, so. But we have a couple good cards over here. We have, the Ace of Cups. And this is the beginning. This is love from the divine. So, taking the time to work through this and identify those patterns and being kind to ourselves and trying to look at things from a different perspective, it is going to help us accept ourselves, accept where we are, accept how we got there, accept how our parents were. So what they overlooked, what they allowed, what they would get upset about, that kind of stuff. And every time we say no, I'm not going to do that. And every time we say, I want to do better, this cup gets closer to us, or it's in our hand, or it has more love in it, however you want to look at it. This is a cup of love from the divine, and it has to start with us. We have to give it to ourselves. We have to put ourselves first. Yeah, I know I want to help you, But what I'm hearing you say is A, B, C, and D. And even though I could give you $20, and it would probably be okay, I'm going to be resentful, and it's not going to help you. So, that's an example, okay? There's all different ways in all different situations. So, taking the time to have the conversations and not just trying to make it go away, and then you'll deal with it later, because we know we'll deal with it. We're not worried about not dealing with this. Like, we're not saying, we don't want to deal with it at all, and we're trying to completely avoid conflict, but sometimes we just don't feel like it, huh? And I don't know about you, but even in my times when it was hard for me, I always was able to create more abundance than many people. So, and sometimes it's real hard, but sometimes it's not. And so I give freely when I have it. And maybe I should consider doing things a different way there. Because when I don't have it, nobody really gives freely. Sometimes. I shouldn't say that completely, but you know what I'm saying. Use what you have as your own reserve instead of giving everything away, especially your time, especially your feelings. And, giving to ourselves first will help us give without, without worrying about if we get it back. It's all gravy. Because we've already filled our own cup. I hope that kind of makes sense. So this is a Two of Pentacles. So, cup of love. And so, we are the great jugglers. We juggle. We juggle tasks. We juggle jobs. And we do whatever we have to do to make things work. And this is part of it. This is juggling to keep our abundance, to get to a better place. So, he's got a rainbow coming through that pentacle. And he's not, on a rock about to fall over. No, he's got stability going. So we could still multitask. We could still do everything. But it's doing it in a more grounded way. And putting ourselves first. In a good way. And not being selfish. And we may get that. I've had people say that to me. I'm selfish. And I'll sit there and go, wait a minute, I did A, B, C, and D. How can you say that? But people will. It's just the way it is. And we just can't even let that trigger us anymore. We can, but to have the change and affect change and be calm and not be rattled by it. Not be rattled, period, by anything. Okay, so the last card on this side is a Hierophant. So sorry. Hierophant talks about spiritual guidance. It also talks about, he's a spiritual leader, right? So spiritual guidance is big. Listening to your heart, your spirit, your own spirit, their spirit will give you more information. Maybe when somebody comes at you in something and they need something more, and they think you can give it to them, maybe if we had a better connection, we could get right to the chase. Like, I see you really need to work on this, instead of helping them with something that is a symptom of the problem. Does that make sense? Instead of going into the problem. If we really want to help somebody, let's go into the problem somehow. And for each person, that'll be something different. But it's like the analogy of teach somebody to fish instead of feeding them, or teach somebody to grow their own food instead of just giving them, food. Does that make sense? I did it in a bad way, but teach them how to dig a well instead of giving them bottled water. That kind of thing. Help them to learn the skills so they can have a balanced life instead of just giving them a Band-Aid. So, but okay, so this also speaks of like dogma, like big business. It speaks of big business, politics, religions, where there's a lot of dogma. So what's on the outside, this is what this says to me. It doesn't matter what's on the outside. We all present a certain way, It's about the spirit and the heart. Doesn't matter what's on the outside. So if we have to close our eyes to see it, to feel it, that would be a good test now, wouldn't it? Okay, so now on the medicine mother side, so we're talking about clearing and having some self-love, and then this guy pops up, this King of Wands. So this King of Wands, this card here for me, reminds me of the initiator, the person that just like, I'm going to go do this. He's going to start a business. He's got all this stuff that he wants to create, and nobody's going to stop him. He's going to get out there. He's going to inspire other people. He's just going to get out and talk to people and stop being at home thinking about stuff. It's time to get out. It's also time, when interacting with people, to be quiet and not do all the talking. Okay? And that's really hard, because I know for me, I yakety when I get nervous. And so that is a major thing for me, to really work on that. On listening and understanding what's not being said. Okay? So, this could represent a fire sign. Somebody that comes along, somebody that you encounter. Because it's almost like you would have to encounter them. Or we could be in this energy Gemini where we're saying, all right, I thought about this long enough. I'm getting up with my whatever kind of thing he's got, that pick on fire, and I'm moving. I'm moving. Okay? So, Two of Swords reversed. We made the decision. We're no longer sitting there worrying about stuff, right? That's a beautiful thing. Next card, Knight of Cups. Where are we at? 17. Next card, Knight of Cups. Going forward with propositions, with love. I mean, we have our self-love. So, this looks like it's us. Not afraid to love again. Not afraid to reach out again. Not afraid to get out there again. And this is movement. And this is not afraid to remember that we are the prize, too. We are the prize, too. This is the card of Prince Charming, and if this is representing our energy right now, water, love, then we are looking like Prince Charming, and that's sweet. It's a good time to get your butt out there and get some stuff done. Okay, and then we have the Knight of Pentacles, so we have Prince Charming going this way, and then we have the Knight of Pentacles going this way. So, the Knight of Pentacles is all about slow movement, building your foundation. So, now it could represent someone else, just like this Cups could represent Prince Charming. But as we go out offering our cup of love, offering our emotions, and listening, and being in our passionate place, our stability comes in. And it's not going to come in super fast, but this is our stability that's going to stay, because it's what we're creating, not what anybody is bringing us. This is ours. See? That's why I'm covering all these layers and just getting... We do all this work. Let's put it to good use. All this analyzing and stuff. We're so good at that. Being grounded and stable as we go out and we do new things, we bring in more stability. Okay? And then the death. And the death. Now, Medicine Mother was talking about what we need to release. And death is all about releasing the old Mary. For me, the old Mary. The scared Mary. The biggest thing that I need to face is fear. I have some days that I'm just... My whole world has changed. All of my relationships. I quit my job. I quit my job. And I have all these bills. And And you know what? I'm getting better at switching gears. And then I try this, and then I try this, and then I try this. And I know that all these things are going to kick in at the same time because they're all rolling. I got all these things rolling at the same time. So, death of the procrastination, death of the excuses, death of the feeling not good enough. Because you know what? I do feel like a king now. I don't know about you, but I can do anything now. So much like underhanded, feeling dark that we've gotten through, that a lot of people have gotten through, not just Gemini. Why couldn't we make our dreams come true? Why can't we go forward and know how beautiful we are? Why not? Okay, so Eight of Cups reversed. So Eight of Cups upright is walking away from something that no longer serves you emotionally. Now, when it's reversed, walking to something that serves you emotionally. So the things that we get to walk to now, we don't have to worry about. It's not the same. Excuse me. We're not the same. So therefore, the people that we interact with, if we made the necessary changes, they're not the same either. We're not going to get the same type of people, the same kind of relationships, the same type of anything, because, well, we've worked hard at leveling up. And we get to walk to the things that serve us, not away from them. So I have this Page of Cups reversed, okay? And we've been hearing about this apology and all of this. Now the thing is that, I don't know about you, but have you received your apology? I don't think it's coming. I don't think it's important. It's not even important anymore. Because that thing, that person that kind of cracked us in half, they did us this great service. A service that we couldn't even see. And that's sometimes how it works. And, you know, if this person moved on to someone else, many of them have, because that was the whole idea of them leaving me behind, because they were already moved on with someone else and kind of had been the whole time, or part of the time, or most of the time, whatever. It's just who they are. I think they're always moving on with somebody most of the time, no matter who it is or with. So, and there's this pattern that maybe in the beginning we would say, well, how come they get to move on? I'm here. Well, I truly feel like the lucky one. I don't know about you, but I don't have to move on to someone else. I'm moving on to me, and then I can go wherever in the heck I want. I've got so many doors open right now. And I'm really happy. I have moments that I'm scared, and then I get past another level. I get past another thing. And it's really great. It's really great. And I can't even see myself ever going back to that. So this apology that may never come, the truth that may never be delivered, by now, don't we know the truth? Don't we know enough? So, and instead of waiting for somebody to come to us with some cup of love, we get to go out and find it. We get to go out and find many cups of love. Not only for people that we love or think we could love, but all the things just in general we love. Because, you know, we know how to juggle. We know how to love many things. Work, family, new friends, new family, new work. So, have a good week. And I have new adventures this week too. So I'm excited about that. Take care. Love you guys.